Right, hello. I've got a, yeah, I got another Madonna death date, um, potential death date coming up. This is like a mega rabbit hole, this one, um, and it builds off of all the other Madonna stuff we've looked at before. Um, so there's going to be a lot of numbers that kind of make sense as we go through this, but also this day also references back into the eclipse, the upcoming eclipse on the 8th of April, the 4/8. And so not only does it reference back into that, but also all this stuff references back into the next day, the 4/9 as well, and potentially the following day as well, 4/10. But I think we're dealing with some midnight hour goings on there anyway, where two dates are going to be, they could be referencing the same event. Okay. Now, blooming hell, this is just an absolute. The caveat to this video, there's just so much. I'm going to forget stuff as I go through this. I am inevitably going to miss stuff out of here, and I'm going to have to miss some stuff out. Otherwise, we're going to be sat here for 3 or 4 hours. There's that much stuff, especially if I was to go through it and actually show you every little connection. So I'm glossing over a lot of this stuff. I'm sorry. This will be the initial video, and again, if something happens, then I'll go back through all the other stuff and maybe spend some more time on it. But the date I'm looking at, we're in March, okay, and we're looking at this Sunday, March the 24th. Okay, notice it's the 80. This year it's the 84th day of the year because of the leap year. Okay, 282 days left. I'm already thinking about Ghost Town by Madonna with the 2882 reference at the end of that thing. But boy, there's so much to this. I don't even know where to start. I guess the best place to start is where I actually started the whole process, and I'll just sort of whiffle waffle through it from there on out. So why did I start looking at this date? Well, if you've been keeping up with the channel, you'll know that I've recently just sort of been looking at this chart here. That I've only just recently created this chart. Okay, the Queen's Cross, and I have another chart that's the same numbers as this, except they are kind of inverted, which is the King's Cross. Okay, now at the center of this chart. Okay, and also for new people, these are all just like Fibonacci type number sequences. Okay, they all encode the golden ratio, so it's looking at balance, right? I'm not going to explain any more than that. This chart, okay, the middle of this chart, check out what we've got. Okay, the 4/8 of the eclipse, and then the following day, okay, this is a date that is in the dollar bill. This date is encoded in the dollar bill with a couple of number jumps, actually. And in fact, I'm going to leave it at that. I've talked about it somewhere in the back catalogue, but this is, one of these numbers that is encoded in the dollar bill, right? So, where to go from here? Okay, so the center of this table is obviously important. Now, if you recall, I got sidetracked onto during the trying to think which one it is now. It's GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan. Okay, there is a scene in GoldenEye where Pierce steals the tank. Okay, and then is running through wherever he is. I don't wherever the hell they are in Russia. And he's smashing through brick walls and all this kind of stuff with this tank. The number on the tank is 343. Okay, in fact, I do have it up somewhere in my tabs. Okay, but if we draw a line, in fact, let's do this a little bit better, between this 3 and come to this 3 here, what you'll notice is we're going through a double 4. And I like to reduce double numbers sometimes to just the single digit of that number. So 44 becomes a 4. Anyway, what we've got is we've got 343 right here. Now, during that scene as well, the tank derails the train, okay? And obviously train has this connection with Madonna. If you do the gematria for train, and compare it with the gematria for Madonna, get some matches there. And in fact, I want to say it's a 62. And that will become relevant here later on as well. Bear that in the back of your mind. I think it's a 62. I can't remember off the top of my head because I don't have. I'll put it. If I remember, I'll put it in the gematrinator. But the train gets derailed, right, by the tank, and the number on the side of the train, get to the point, Dan, is 745. Now, what I end up with here, what we end up with is we end up with a cross. Okay. Now, I'm like, well, that's kind of interesting because what's the other sort of crossing number in here? Okay, and so I'm looking at it, and I put the cross in, which runs through the 243, the 24th of March. And lo and behold, if you were to invert this symbolism right here now, this looks like the pattern that these eclipses are making across the states. If you go back and look at that first one, and then the one in October, and then the one that's coming up, this is the pattern and it's just inverted. Okay, so I guess I could invert it for you, but I'm not going to bother. But this is it's the same eclipse pattern. Anyway, I'm looking at this the 24th of, it could be a different combination of something here, but I thought, well, I'll go look at the 24th of March. And of course, it's the 84th day of the year, which ties right into this. Okay. And so now that this date becomes interesting. And so as soon as I start down looking at this, this rabbit hole is just mega. It's mega deep. It's huge. Anyway, so that's where I started. And obviously you can now pick out other 423 dates in here. So here was one, and across from that was 227, and then I happened to go to what did I happen to go to? I happened to go to blooming hell, let me show you the date calculator. Hopefully this is the right one. No. I went to do the date calculation back to see where it ended me up, and it ended me up from the date in question back. So from 324 back, it went back to the 10th of August, and I was like, oh, I know who that is. Roseanne Arquette, who is in that's her birthday, and she is in what's the bloody Desperately Seeking Susan, right? And one of the big references in Desperately Seeking Susan is the jacket that is worn by they end up, there's this kind of twinism in that film where, one's impersonating the other, right? And so the jacket has the Eye of Providence on it, okay? The same thing that's on the dollar bill, right? And so this just becomes very, very interesting that this is, we have this twinism with Susan and Roseanne Arquette in the film. And so what becomes even more interesting is I recently rewatched Snatch because there was a scene in there that I wanted to go and revisit, which was the Vinnie Jones scene, because I could remember on the actual Actually, I might have it up here. As Vinny walks into the pub, okay, you'll notice that there's a number 49 at the top of here. Okay, and this is the scene where he does this is the scene actually where they, or one of the scenes where they play Ghost Town. And in fact, I think the other time they play Ghost Town as well, which is the specials version of Ghost Town. The other time they play that song is when the Vinny, and I can't remember the other guy's name, and I'm not talking about Vinny Jones. I'm talking about, let's go to him. Sol. It's Vinny and Sol. Okay. Yeah, Vinny and Sol, and then Tyrone's the other guy that's in that threesome in there. Okay. What's interesting though is they play that song in there as well, and that reference back to Ghost Town. I think the song, I can't remember. It has a 4/9 reference either in the date or the release date or the length of the song. I can't remember what it is, but anyway, there's a 4/9 reference in that song. And as you know, I've gone through the old specials version of it, and that it's loaded as that's also loaded the music video there. And of course, the Madonna version is apocalyptical stuff going on in that. So what's interesting is, so Vinny in that thing, which is he ends up being the Vincent is the guy that is, if you remember the scene, he is the Vinny Jones picks out, who's Bullet Tooth Tony, picks out him as the penis, and the other two are the faggot balls on either side of him. So there's this reference to the phallic reference right there. And what's interesting is it Vincent is played by Robbie Gee, and it's also interesting that they chose to use that name again with Vinnie Jones sat there, and it's Vinnie Jones facing off against Vinnie the character as well. So this idea of where I'm going with this is a reference not only to the, anything to do with Madonna is going to be to do with the Hoover Dam, to do with the eclipse, and again, this scene I believe is also to do with Madonna's death, because if we look at the man that's gone into the system, yeah, Vincent, he's the man that's trapped in the system, and again, Robbie Gee has this birthday, is born on the same day, the 24th of March. And so what my thinking here is that he's being referenced as the phallic symbol, which is the physical man, right? Facing off against Vinnie Jones, Bullet Tooth Tony, who is the corrupted, because if you remember back to Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, he's Big Chris. He is Christ in that one, and he's turned into what they think is a pussy. And that's how the whole thing goes. The conversation there is really interesting. In fact, you have to go watch it and listen to it. And what is going on there, though, is we've got the birthday of Robbie Gee, or G, or however G. Robbie G is, so again with the Bob and the G, the big G. Why the hell was I calling him Gee? I don't know. Anyway, well, maybe that's how it is. I don't know. Anyway, he is born, so the man has to be reborn, okay? And so that's why, I think that's why they're having this face off. And of course, there's a reference to the Desert Eagle, and the Desert Eagle, if we think about the relationship with the Hoover Dam, what the Desert Eagle is the Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, that's on the other side of the borderline, like the Madonna song Borderline. And so what you'll also remember is that Bullet Tooth Tony, his lucky song is Lucky Star. Okay, and so where we're going with this is this is I think if this happens, this will be a huge ritual. It's almost like it's going to be, I mean, it's just absolutely mental. This is going to take me ages to explain this, but anyway, bear that in mind with the lucky star, okay? Because we're dealing, when we get to the end of this decode, we're going to be dealing with Texas, the Lone Star State, and Dallas, and again that same symbol is like the Dallas Cowboys with that same singular pentagram type star, okay, the 5-pointed star. So where do I go from here? I could just talk for hours and hours and hours about this, I tell you. Anyway, so we have as he walks into the pub, we have the reference to we have the reference to the eclipse, or the day after the eclipse, or the dollar bill. Also with Bullet Tooth Tony is right at at the beginning when Bullet Tooth is getting kind of hired to find, he's got to find Frankie Four Fingers, right? Again, the gambling thing comes into it and they even play the Viva Las Vegas, I think, music when they do a little clip of him. And so Bullet Tooth Tony, I think Avi says, "Hey, what should I call you?" And he's like, "Well, you can call me, Susie if you want, okay?" And he's sat next to the two twins, which is Doug the Head's, Mike Reed's daughters, okay? And one of them is Susie as well, who he's sat next to. So there's this double Susie reference with twins again, and I'm thinking, oh wow, this is, is this another reference back to Desperately Seeking Susan? Okay, and so this whole thing with and that's the other thing as well, is that when Bullet Tooth does play the I want to say when you first hear Lucky Star is when he's actually getting shot. There's kind of his little backstory there. I think those girls that are topless have cowboy hats on as well. I want to say they do. So there's this reference back to Texas and to Dallas Cowboys. Okay. And then what else have I got to say about it? And then there's a reference to, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember the guy's name, but I'm pretty sure, isn't he in, hang on a minute, Mullet, okay, Mullet, isn't he, is he in Trainspotting? Yeah, he's in Trainspotting. I thought he was. Obviously with Madonna and the train reference, having somebody from Trainspotting is just mental. And look at the birthday as well, 123. So I mean, it's just, I could just talk for hours just about Snatch, and obviously Guy Ritchie. Madonna is Guy Ritchie's bit of Snatch, and obviously with Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, which is the Twin Towers. Okay, and then the Snatch is the Hoover Dam. The references are just absolutely mental. Take, for example, Gorgeous George, who gets knocked out by Mickey right at the start of the film, right? And Mickey is Brad Pitt, and of course, I think they've got Brad Pitt in there. I think the main reference is tying back to Fight Club, and obviously he's a fighter in this as well. So obviously that connection makes sense. And Fight Club, if you go watch 88 Finesse Temporas's stuff on that, it's so loaded. It is unbelievable with 9/11 stuff. and I do believe it's got the Hoover Dam stuff in there as well. But again, I think actually there's also this. When I was looking at the kin of Madonna, I'm sure Angelina Jolie was on that list. I'm pretty sure she was. So that would tie Brad Pitt in as well at some point to Madonna that way as well, which is mental. But anyway, Gorgeous George is played by Adam Adam Fogarty. Okay, but look, Adam Hayward. And remember Hayward Floyd, 2001 Space Odyssey. Well, and again, that ties back to A View to a Kill with Zoran, and the same ritual that's in Superman with the great earthquake that's going to flood out and change the whole landscape of the states. And of course, in Superman, the dam breaks, but Zoran's gonna, basically take over the microchip market. But the point is that the fault line that is going to be ruptured or whatever is the Hayward fault line out there. So again, that's the connection. But anyway, what's interesting about this Gorgeous George, I might have it up here. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to be all over the place with this. Oh, blimey, now we don't even want to do this yet. Let's go to this. Famous birthdays. I don't know if it's in here or... Oh, I don't know. It's somewhere in here. We can go through all this here in a minute. But somewhere within here is Gorgeous George. I'm not even going to look for it right now. He has that, the wrestler, Gorgeous George, has the 23rd, the 24th of March as a reference date. Okay, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was somewhere in there as a birthday or a death date or something. So, man, I'm not even scratched the surface yet. I'm still stuck on with the Snatch stuff. So anyway, if we move away from before I move away from the Snatch stuff, gosh, I'm just gonna have to talk through it, otherwise I'll be here all night. Oh dear. Before I move away from this pub, let's find it. Pub here is actually, you can see it on the door. Actually, the JG. This is actually the Jolly Gardeners pub. Okay, but in the film they refer to it as I think the Drowning Trout. Okay, so the Drowning Trout, or obviously that was also for me another connection back to Who's That Girl with Loudon. I can't remember. I think it's Loudon Trot, but I think I'm pretty sure at some point he gets referred to as Trout. I don't know. Anyway, I'm kind of getting a little bit sidetracked here, but it's kind of a bit of a Cockney rhyming slang thing there with Drowning Trout and Loudon Trot. I don't know. Not really, but you get the idea. And the Drowning Trout is Loudon Trot. Okay, he's the guy that's got to be saved, and he needs to get out of that. He's trapped in the dam, Anyway, the Jolly Gardeners. What was interesting about this is I also thought this kind of reminded me of the Queen Vic in EastEnders, but which is again with Mike Reed in this, and the Victorian pub, this Victorian corner pub. I think the Queen. I was trying to look it up, but I think the Queen Vic's based on a pub that looks a lot like this actually. But anyway, getting sidetracked because that Vic reference will come in later with where I'm going with this. what was I going to say? I've forgotten what I was going to say now. The Jolly Gardener. Anyway, what was interesting was Madonna has got a song. Oh, here it is. I'll remember. The B side of that. What was interesting was the length, 423. Okay, so read that number backwards. It's 324. And Secret Garden. I just was like, oh, this is just another little tidbit. Is like this is something I probably should miss out of this video. But Secret Garden, obviously with the Jolly Gardener, is a pretty good connection there. And the actual pub itself has a secret garden you can hire out for events. So it's just crazy. Anyway, where we're going to go with this now is this was released on Maverick Records. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to jump away from Snatch for a little while. Actually, before I jump away from Snatch, I want to show you one more thing, and then we're going to go to this Maverick connection. Okay. Where were we at? So back to Snatch. Get off of this, and let's go to. I want to show you who is essentially in Snatch, who is burned in the caravan, which is Mickey's mum, right? So Mickey is, and there's a bunch of Virgin Mary connections in there. Again, go see Finest and Porus's video on Snatch, and he shows a lot of the Virgin Mary connections. And there's a ton of other connections, like pictures on the wall of bomber aircraft, from the Dam Busters, and there's St. Michael's and St. George's or something on the pictures on the wall in Turkish's. I don't know what that even is. They got a load of fruit machines there. So again, a sort of a tie back to blooming Vegas again. But anyway, so Mickey, okay, and obviously Mickey as well. I just want to tell people that in Ireland, at least this was what I was told by my Irish friends, is that Mickey is slang for, just as we would use, well, it's just slang for a dick, basically. Okay. So again, Mickey is slang for the penis. And again, so that connection with the Irish connection there, and then so Mickey's mum obviously is supposed to be. So if Mickey is Christ, then she is Mary. We don't actually have. I don't actually think she's just referenced as Mrs. O'Neill here, which again, I mean, I could just go all over the place with this, like April O'Neil, like the Mutant Ninja Turtles. April O'Neil. April, something's going to happen. O'Neill, yeah, the penitent man kneels before God, yeah. April, yeah, and they're all living in the bloody sewer, which is another reference back, with Mario and back and Matrix, back to the sewer system, back to the black water, the grey water, corrupted dam. Anyway, this gal, I don't even know if I should try and say her name. Sorka Kuzak, maybe. I hope I'm saying that right. Oh, blimmin' hell. But anyway, check out her birthday, 9th of April. I just can't write this stuff. Even in 1949 as well. Unbelievable. And that makes her 74. Yeah, and I think. Oh, I was going to say, I think. Was it? Oh, I can't remember anyway. Anyway, let's just leave this now. But I just wanted to point that out, that this Mary reference again here is now connecting back to 49 again. Okay, so it's every time I look at something now, it's just becoming more and more ominous. Oh look, let's look down here real quick. She was on Inspector Morse. And look at the episode, Cherubim and Sephirim. The cherubim are the things at the Hoover Dam with the wings up, though, instead of coming across like with the Ark of the Covenant. Oh, jeez. Very interesting. Anyway, so let's get off of that now and let's move to this other sort of let's get through some of these other references, because we'll come back to all this stuff here very shortly. Now, what I want to do is I want to go to, come on, I want to go to the Bloomin' Madonna Celebration Tour. Where is Madonna going to be on or around the 20th? I'm going too far here. I went right by it. It's the first one on the list. The 24th of March. She's going to be in Dallas, Texas at the American Airlines. Whoa, the American Airlines, the same American Airlines that crashed into the... Was it American Airlines that went into the Pentagon as well? Tower 1 and Tower... and... I've got it up somewhere, don't I? Oh, goodness me, there's just so much stuff. You know what, we're not going to worry about it. It would be interesting though if it was... I can't remember. It was two Uniteds and two Americans, wasn't it? I don't know. Anyway, let's not worry about it too much right this second. There might be some interesting number connections there for a later video. She's going to be at this place, right? So let's go see what this place is. American Airlines Center, okay? Oh, just went right by it. Come on. God, this is painful. I'm so sorry, but you know, we need to go through all these tabs. American Airlines Center. Okay. So what, Dan? Oh, it's the home of the Dallas Mavericks, Madonna's record label. Actually, it's right here. Look at this. Maverick. Here's the Auspis Maria, kind of, here, with this symbolism, with the Vesca Pisces in the middle, with the M, and we've even got the sword and the bow. The bow is the feminine, and the sword is obviously the phallus symbol and the womb symbolism, female symbolism. Okay, feminine symbolism. Very interesting with this Maverick connection, I guess. And it says somewhere where they come up with the name. Again, there was 3 people in the founding of this, I think, and this is why they ended up with Maverick. And again, Veronica is in the middle of this thing as well, with a nickname of Ronnie. Ronnie G. Oh gosh. And Frederick D-Man, and obviously Madonna, M.A. for the start of this thing. So anyway, it's just pretty interesting. This is was her record label. It's defunct now, I think. I don't really want to go through it, but it's this connection with Maverick. And I think even some of maybe Lock, Stock, the soundtrack for Lock, Stock was released on this as well. I don't know. Maybe Snatch was. I'm not sure. But anyway, there's the Desperately Seeking Susan reference. And we'll get on to some interesting stuff in here as well. Also notice the March the 29th, because 239 is really, really, really important with this decode. Okay, and there's obviously it's one that I've looked at with Madonna before, but this is going to become really relevant in this decode as well. So where am I going with this Maverick? So this was in so what? So it's at this stadium. What does that even matter, Dan? Victory Park. We'll come on to some victory stuff. And oh, the Dallas Stars are there as well. The 5-pointed star again. Okay. Right, where do I want to go? Oh, look. Oh, it cost 420 million. Yeah, here's the 420. This is the 420 days is the difference between the two cycles of Pluto. Right, which is this is tying in this Pluto reference that we've got coming up now is tying back in, because it's, you know, starting off on the 4/7/1776, and now the day before the upcoming blooming eclipse is 4/7. Okay, so maybe you should probably put this in. You probably should put this in twice speed, because you know, I'm a bit slow, and I'm just trying to think too much here. So anyway, so again, if you've watched some of my other stuff, you know the importance of the number 4/7. Okay, now it's the number that surrounds. I'm going to say it. It's the number that surrounds 11, 18, and that 11/18 can be reduced two different ways, to 2/18 or to 9/11. Okay, so when you do two individual reductions on either side of that number, on the 11 first and then the 8 and then on the 18 separate, you can get the two different sets of numbers, 9/11 and 2/18. Okay, so we know how important 2/18 is with Pluto. Again, where do I want to go? I want to do some more Dallas connections. So the obvious Dallas connection is JFK, and JFK assassinated in Dallas. And let's find his. Okay, again, 123 is our. If we just go from the assassination, the death date last year through to this one, it's 123, which again super important with the 123, the 321123 number that I showed you before, connecting Hoover Dam back to the 211 this year. And also that number also connects the Hoover Dam to 9/11 as well. That 32,123 day number jump. Okay, so 123 is really important for the idea of starting over again. The death of the king here, you know, because that's the president is the king at the time, you know, and the death of the mother here. Okay, and so when you have those two things that have to die in order for the whole system to be reborn. Okay, so 123 starting up again. I've got another one in here. Hang on a minute. No, that was the. Did I show you this? I can't remember if I think I did show you that with the 227 that crossed that number and the connection back to Desperately Seeking Susan. And so, oh, no, we don't want this one yet. Although I could talk about it. Hang on a minute. We're getting to it. Oh, blimmin' hell! Don't even start on that lot. And there's the. See, there's so much to do. You know, here's that tank number here, the 7th cube number 343, and obviously 7, extremely important with the idea of balance. Okay, the number 49 in here as well. Yeah, 7 times 49, 343. And also check out prime number. Okay, the 343rd prime number is 2309. This is really important because we're going to get onto that to the 23,900 and whatever days jumps. Okay, we're going to get onto that in a minute, and it's super duper important. So this was worth showing you this. Okay, with that tank number, really a key connection there. Anyway, where was I going? This is the problem. I'm losing track here now, and I can't find that number jump that I wanted to show you now. What have I got down here? Hang on a minute. I thought I had it in here. Let's go back through these again. I might have to put it in. Oh no, it was right here. Did I click on by it? Did I even click on this one? 11/22/1963. I hope that is the year he was shot. I can't remember. Anyway, JFK's death through to what would potentially be Madonna's death. 22038. Okay, I just want you to know that, you know, again, the way I kind of reduce double numbers again down to a 2, drop that 0 out, we got 23/8, the 23rd of August. Oh yeah, that rings a bell. That's Kobe's birthday. So this is interesting with Kobe, because Kobe had the death ritual as well, and actually the helicopter changed colours from the black Madonna through back to the Virgin Mary colours miraculously in the wreckage somehow. And again, the release date of Snatch is the 23rd of August. Okay, so the film Snatch is released on the 23rd of August. Unbelievable. What was more unbelievable was that next number jump on. Where has it gone? Come on. From 9/11/2001, because that's a good reference point for doing number jumps, through to this day again, through to the 24th of March, is 8230. Drop that 0 off. 823 again. Okay, so we're starting to see some interesting stuff with the 823, and I think I got some other 823 references as well, but I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. But that is certainly interesting for sure. This reference with, and I think if you go to if you go to 88 Finitosaurus's video on Snatch, I believe Guy Ritchie, they even do a 20-year anniversary on. They managed to do it on the actual day as well, 823. Okay, just to re-emphasize the 823. And obviously, I think if it's the 20-year, that would obviously reference the Odyssey as well, the 20 years of the Odyssey. Anyway, where else do I want to go with this? Let's do that big number jump now. So now you can see the importance of this 239 that's at the start of this thing. Okay, so the 23962, if we go back to the table, I'm going to show you what's really relevant about this 62 or 26. And in fact, if we just go to this stuff, let me just put this in here a minute. If I can spell train, 6226. Okay, and if we go down to, have I even got Madonna in here somewhere? Hang on a minute. Where is she? Got too much stuff in here, man. Have I gone by it? Don't even know if I've even got her in here. Maybe it'll only let me have so many things in here. It's got. Can I see it? No, I can't. I can see the full name. Hang on a minute. So train. Oh, bloody hell! I should just typed it in. That would have been quicker. Madonna. Now you can see the connection with this 6226, which is really important. So this 239 with the 62 and 26 is really important. So now if I go back to the table, what you're going to see is that what's even more important with that number on the end of the 62 on the end of the 239 is that the 62 or 26 is referencing back to 84 within the actual numbers of pi. These two bottom rows here are the actual numbers of pi. Now this becomes really, the reason why I've got these boxes in here is from previous Madonna, looking at Madonna stuff. Okay, so I didn't explain that, but that's why these numbers are in here. But this box is of high importance because it actually has her birthday right here in it, with a sort of a mirrored reflective birthday the other side, right? And what is interesting, it has part of that going through the number pi as well that's in here. And for those of you that haven't seen this before, this central line here has the number pi in it, and I call it the pi row in my decode chart because it contains the first three numbers of pi. Okay, it's not the actual numbers of pi, but it just contains the first. It starts with 314, this actual number line. Without me explaining it fully, it just is a reference to pi. So this reference to pi is very, very important, especially with Madonna and Elvis and the Hoover Dam. Obviously, the Hoover Dam, the dam wall, and the two legs that come off of the bottom of it is a reference to pi. Again, the pi is the seat that you sit on as well. Pi is also Man on Wire, you know, Philip Petit crossing the Twin Towers. Pi is also in Back to the Future with the fire trails, with the line and the two fire trails coming through. This is pi here as well. Pi is the balancing point for the middle of this table. Yeah, pi is Elvis's haircut, is pi with the two chops. Very, very important symbolism, okay? It's the Chinese temple, okay? You know, it's the gateway into the temple if you look at Chinese temples, yeah? Where the two fu dogs sit on the outside of the temple as well. So, again, this is super important that the 2-6 is referencing this thing, yeah? Because it does it in two places where it references this 84. Okay, when you match this thing up. I think this is the only two numbers in here that do this. They do the switcheroo. That is really, really important. All I've got here is pi started in the middle of the table and then started at one end of the table, okay? So the reference to pi is very, very important. So let me explain something here, because I think this is a real big clue to the whole thing. Maybe this might be one of the biggest decodes that I've actually found yet, what I'm about to show you now, because this reference with pi here, the real numbers of pi down the bottom of here, as opposed to the center of this thing, there's a number jump in here, and I'm going to show you it now. And we have to just read this backwards, but let's just do it right here. This set of numbers right here. Okay, so 23979, and we're going to look where that takes us. Okay, so we know already that the 62 on the end of 239 is giving us this 24th March date. Okay, 62 is really important with the train, with Madonna, and with pi. Okay, and remember the railroad tracks. Again, another version of pi. Two tracks with a bar running across, connecting the two. Okay? I know that's kind of abstract for some people, but it's there. So let's go back to this Madonna jump now. 23962. Let's just count on and see where we get to with the 79. Okay? Well, that's in the actual pi numbers. Okay? Here we go. We're at the 10th. Remember how I was saying the 10th is a it's basically, if you go to my other chart, the 10th is the like the total number up to the 10th position in that pi row. Let me just go and show you. Okay, it won't take a second just to flip back to this other chart with the clock tower in it. Okay, 410 is the total if we add all of these numbers up along here all of these numbers together in the pi row again, yeah, you'll notice that 410 is that total, yeah. And if you were to include the end date as well, that would take you to 49. And if you remember, I showed this just the other day, if you remember 49, if we were to add the 4 row in here and come along to the number 9, this number here is 118, which is an abbreviation of these central numbers here in the table. This is the center of the table right here, where this X here is the center of the table. And the first two numbers out from the center are actually the number 11. And then we get the number 1 and 8 further on out. So this is very, very important. 49, 118, referring back to the center of this thing. The 410, which is the completion, because number 10 represents completion of a cycle. This is the total, all added up to this point. It's just absolutely nuts. In fact, that number there, the 157, is half of this number here, 314, you know. It's just crazy. And then also note where the 923 comes up here, it's on either side of the number 14. Okay, here, the apple. Yeah, the forbidden fruit, the bullseye. And remember, when you amalgamate this bullseye here with this bullseye in the actual dartboard, I've got both sets of numbers here. 145, super duper important as well, because I'll show you some 145 stuff in a minute. Anyway, I wanted to show you that, and obviously we can't forget that the next day on is the CRM 114, yeah, and again 123 or 312, or however you want to look at that cross reference there as well. So it's just mental, absolutely crazy. Let's go back to this other one. So we've got this number jump that's in actual pi. What else did I want to say about that? What you'll notice as well is that number jump is at the start of this thing, and obviously the start of this thing obviously makes it to the middle as well here. So again, that's pretty important. I think actually we might be done with this table for now. Notice that also here with this cross, notice the 145 coming down here while we're just talking about it. Notice this 296 here. That ties back into, in fact, this ties back into Who's That Girl? The release date of Who's That Girl? The song, maybe, not the film. I can't remember which way around that was the 29th of June. And what's fascinating about that as well is that you remember I just mentioned April O'Neil. Well, April O'Neil, I can't remember the name of I've got a tab up, but that lady that plays, the actress that plays that role, her birthday is the 29th of June. Unbelievable. What we want to go back to. So I've shown you this massive number jump. I will say this much, that the day before this set of numbers here is just like bang on mental for me. It's just a huge personal reference. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, but it's just a massive personal reference. If something happens, I'll delve into it a little bit more, but for me this is just absolutely crazy. It's just nuts. It's just absolutely nuts. Let's go back to the stadium now and the Mavericks and all this stuff. Okay, so she's playing that stadium, yeah, in Dallas. Okay, we've got the tie-in with JFK, and the other tie-in with JFK is Marilyn Monroe, and Madonna does all this Marilyn Monroe look-alike stuff, yeah, all this Marilyn Monroe. I showed you all this stuff before, you know. Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. Now, Marilyn Monroe dies on the 4th of August, 8-4. Okay, and so we have this tie back with the 84th day of the year now. Nuts again, absolutely crazy. What other references did I mean, it's just crazy. And so the other connection obviously is JFK and Marilyn Monroe and the happy birthday, Mr. President, okay, with JFK. So this is just, the connections are just crazy. I mean, this would be mental if she got, no one wish this on anybody, but if an event happened that was similar in nature to what happened to JFK, let's put it that way, without actually spelling it out completely and saying it out loud, that would be absolutely crazy if there was some big event like that. So without actually saying it, I've said it. There you go. Blooming hell. Where do we want to go with this? We've got to go look through all the blooming... Well, this video is going to be so long. I just say put it on 2 times speed. I don't sound too bad as a chipmunk. Okay, so we've got the stadium. Now I have to take a step back, right? And we want to go look at a song by Madonna, which ties us back to, and it's this song here. This is going to tie us back to Die Another Day. This is the B-side, is Die Another Day. Are you getting the idea? Die Another Day. The B-side to that is this. And actually, before I do get off of this, hang on a minute. Let's just go through these. I can't forget what that was now. Yeah, I just wanted to mention, here's our 221 with Madonna's birthday through to 824. 824. What am I saying 824 now? 324. Okay. So this, for her birthday through to 324, 221 days. So there's our 122 reference number. And actually, I think if you go the other way, I think that's 100 and... Hang on a minute. Oh, I don't know. I think, hang on a minute, this is the easy way to find that out. Just click that up. Yeah, it's 145 days back the other way. Yeah, we'll have a 145 day jump with our 145 dartboard and clock tower bullseye reference there. So there you go. Back to that other chart. It's just mental. Okay. Where was I at? I was showing you this. La 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 la. Now we've got to find that again now. Liminal, American Life, that was it. And again, if we go to Die Another Day, I got to show you this because 122, this is released on 122 numerology, and I'm searching the 122s for the reference, and again, this date is heavily referenced, personal reference and everything else, and this ties back to the train. Anyway, back up a minute. Let's go back to this now. American Life. Check out the image here. Immediately I am, this looks like Che Guevara, yeah? So, and obviously look at the date, release date 3/24. This is why I was looking at this, and then I seen the Die Another Day, and I was immediately onto this, so I'm like, I have to go and look now at Che Guevara. So let's go look at Che, hang on a minute, here we are. And again, when we're dealing with this character, we're dealing with South American revolutionary type stuff, and he's involved, a major figure of the Cuban Revolution. Yeah, what did the Mavericks that play at that stadium, owned by, I think he sold them now, hasn't he? Mark Cuban. Yeah, they had a Cuban Revolution down there with the Mavericks. Okay, the Cuban Revolution. Mark Cuban. Oh dear. And what happened with JFK? The Cuban missile crisis, the Cuban connection with his death. Oh my lord! And obviously, if you go look up all those details, obviously you're going to find the same numbers cropping up. The 118 is the numerology there is cropping up with what's his face, Oswald, and you know. Anyway, we can go around in circles, but I was like, well, we got to go to the birth and death date, and lo and behold, he shares the same birthday as Donald Trump, the 14th of June. Unbelievable. And the death date, the 9th of October. I'm like, the 9th of October, although not this year, if you were to go to a normal calendar year, the 9th of October is the 282nd day of the year, which ties back to our days remaining in for the 324 date, 282 days remaining in the year. Oh my goodness. So we have this cross tie over now. This is absolutely crazy. You know, it's just absolutely mental. So now I'm thinking, you know, we've got the Lone Star, we've got this reference to, it's just crazy, right? I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, you know, we've got this connection to Snatch, and I'm thinking in the Super Bowl halftime that Madonna did, and I don't have a good shot of this, but in the Super Bowl halftime, bloody hell, where is it? I don't know if I've even got it up here. Hang on a minute. What's this one? I can't really get the, hang on a minute. For some reason this is out of focus. I don't know why this is doing this, but at some point she does a cartwheel, yeah, on the bleachers here, and what you get to see is on her underwear, right where her snatch is, she's got the 5-pointed star on her underwear, right? So the snatch is referencing the 5-pointed star, is referencing again back to Dallas, back to Texas, yeah. I don't know what else to say, especially with the whole fire thing that's gone on in Texas with the Mars attacks. And then I'm going to connect back to Sarah Jessica Parker in a minute with this Mars attacks thing, and Marty and everybody, and I'm just around in circles with this. It's absolutely nuts. So anyway, in this, she's doing this somersault and stuff and everything else. And I'm like, you know what? I got to go now check out. I haven't even done half of the checking back on this stuff, but then I'm like, oh, she's with. Then actually, before she gets to the twins, she's with the Man on Wire, okay, and that reference, and I want to say there's a reference to where that stadium is. I think one end of the road that it's on, which is Victory Avenue or something like that. Victory Avenue is one end of it's the High Line, and then it crosses with Lamar, which is where Truman is born. And in fact, that's where I started my, when I first moved to the States, that's where I first ended up, was in Lamar, Missouri. And so there's that connection there. And then the road, I think, finally ends on Continental Avenue. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on a minute, isn't that the Continental's what got blown up in John Wick? I'm like, oh bloody hell. Anyway, not to get too sidetracked, but this thing here, this character is also in it. One of LMFAO, the duo there, Sky Blue. I'm like, Sky Blue, and the other guy is Red Foo, and obviously Red Foo and Sky Blue, we're referring to, one is referring to the metaphysical and one is referring to the physical. And so this character here, is referring to the metaphysical, to Madonna. And again, we've got August 23rd for his birthday. I'm just at the point where you just can't write this stuff anymore. It's just absolutely mental. So the connections are they're just loaded, right? And again, where let me show you the actual. Oh, bloody hell. Let's see. I'm going to go to her in a second as well, because like when I saw it was on that place, the address for the place was 2500 Victory Avenue, I think. Obviously, I've explained the reference to 25. It's the outer bullseye. It's the cup of Christ. It's the 52 or 25, the full or empty glass, okay? It's the faces, the two faces coming together to form the vase, or the vase if you're American. So yeah, this connection with, and also walking into that pub, because I was thinking about the Queen Vic. I'm like, oh, I'll just look up Queen Victoria. Oh, died on 122. I'm like, you know. And so when you get into all the kings and queens now, I'm like, when I looked through some of these other kings, and actually I was looking through the the birthdays and everything, and this, let me go through these two here real quick. Elizabeth the First, okay, obviously dies on March the 24th. So Elizabeth, March the 24th, okay. So we've got the same death date, would potentially the same death date. She's referred to as the Virgin Queen, like a virgin. So she's referred to as the Virgin Queen. And what's important about the death of her, this is what's really important about the death of Elizabeth I, is what it makes way for James it'd be the sixth of Scotland, who is the King James I of England, England and Ireland. But what that is this is the unification of Scotland with the Great Scotland. So this is the Great Scot, because he's the guy that unifies England and Scotland. So this is a unification of the Cross of St. Andrew and the St. George's Cross coming together. Yeah. Again, like sky blue and red foo, those two things coming together. George and Andrew, or the blue and white of Mary and the red and white of the living man of Christ, joining together. Okay. Those two things coming together and being unified, okay, instead of at war with one another. Okay, so that is really super duper important. And there was some other stuff that came from him, like the Bible, and the not the Bible directly from him, but obviously the King James version. And what else? Oh, Guy Fawkes as well. This Guy Fawkes connection. So this is really important with, again, just the connections there are just mental. Anyway, there was another. Where's this other queen in here that I wanted to talk about? I thought I had her. Yeah. Excuse me. Mary of Teck. Why did I have her in here? Again, the 24th of March, death date. Again, this connection with queens dying is pretty important. And obviously with the Victoria, and obviously she is, look, born Princess Victoria Mary of Teck. Obviously, technology springs to mind, and oh, it's the wife of George V as well. Yeah, George V. Oh my goodness. But I lost my train of thought here now. But yeah, the idea of technology. This is the thing that has to die. Technology. Because this is what. Yeah, thank you, Domino Agrato, Mr. Roboto, because that's what takes away, the humanity. That's what corrupts us. Is this ever increasing quest for technology? Um, and again, she shares we got August in there, we got Louise in there. I mean, it's just, oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for those connections. Let's whiz through some of the other birthdays and some of the other important stuff. So on this day, I thought this was really important. This is the day with that reference to Che Guevara. Now we've got Elvis Presley, who shares the death date with Madonna's birthday. On the same day of the year. Presley this is him going into the army. This is the day he enters into the army as well. The 23rd, I keep saying the 23rd, the 24th of March. So again, that's interesting. Was there some other interesting stuff on this day? I don't know if there was events. I don't really want to spend too much time. No, it's just boxing title fight. That's kind of, yeah. With the connection back with. Oh, I don't know if anything was interesting there with the hostage crisis. But I don't really want to spend a whole bunch of time going. Like, that was the most interesting one for me. The other stuff, I don't think there might be some other interesting stuff in there that. Let's not worry about this. Let's go to the birthdays and death dates and whiz through all this stuff, because there is some really interesting stuff. Let's start at the beginning. So we're on birthdays. Okay. John Harrison. Okay, a clockmaker, and quite an important clockmaker, I think. What's interesting about this character, obviously, with the idea of all the clocks at the start of Back to the Future, and obviously there's this idea of the CMR 114 and the speaker, the amp, is essentially the death of Madonna, or the death of the Hoover Dam, and Marty's born from that. He gets ejected from it. Rock and roll. Okay, as the rock rolls away, he's reborn. But what was interesting about this guy is he's born and dies on the same day, which I thought was kind of significant. So we'll see him again in a minute. And also remember the Robbie Gee, but I don't know if he's in here on this actual page. Let's see. Houdini. This was interesting. Why is Houdini reference interesting? And I think Dua Lipa's just got a song out, and Dua Lipa did a combo with. She's got some interesting ties back to the Dam and to. Got a tie-in with Madonna there with a song. So there's some interesting ties in with Dua Lipa. And Harry Houdini, the escape artist, escaping the Matrix. And obviously, what springs to mind with him is the idea of getting dunked in some water, chained up, and then escaping from it. I think that was one of his tricks. And so that idea of getting out of the water that's trapped us, again, this is significant kind of symbolism here with this guy. Okay. So what else have we got on for these birthdays? And also with the idea of magic as well. The Magic Club in Desperately Seeking Susan as well. There's this magic reference. So that's really important. I'm whipping through these two. We're going to probably miss somebody. Come on, but we want to get done here. This is Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know. Oh, Texas. Oh dear. Joseph Barbara. Flintstones, and I'm guessing Hanna-Barbera. Yeah, so I guess he's connected to Tom and Jerry and Flintstones, and maybe he's connected to, I don't know, maybe he's connected to like that company as well through with Scooby Doo and all that as well. I don't know, maybe not. But there's a ton of stuff in Scooby Doo. Every time. Oh, here we are. Here's Gorgeous George, American professional wrestler. Yeah, so you start now. You're seeing this now. The little references. What else we got in here? There's probably a ton that I'm glossing over it. I'm going to. Oh, here we go. Steve McQueen, Lightning McQueen. Oh, blooming hell. Yeah, Lightning McQueen, Steve McQueen. The Great Escape. The Magnificent Seven. Oh dear. The Great Escape. Oh jeez. Carol K. I don't know if I've got anything for Carol K. It kind of looks like blooming what's her face though, don't she? Taylor Swift. Look at that. Man, there's just a ton of birthdays as well on this day. There's a ton of Alan Sugar. Nothing really major with Alan Sugar. I will say though, what do I want to say actually? The Apprentice, the English version of The Apprentice, maybe. Again, a Donald Trump connection there. And oh, Alan Sugar. That reminds me, in Snatch, there's a scene where it's Alan Ford that is playing Bricktop, right? And which is kind of interesting with the Alan, but Turkish asks him if he wants sugar in his tea, and Alan says, "No thanks, I'm sweet enough already," something like that. So there's another Alan Sugar reference there. Oh dear. Who else we got in here? Come on. I mean, oh, here we go. Here's a Microsoft reference there. Oh, come on. I think page 1. Blooming hell. Here we go. The Undertaker. Born in Houston, Texas. Loving it. The Undertaker. Yes. Okay. That's fascinating as well. Jim Parsons. The Big Bang. Man, you can't write this stuff. He's playing Sheldon Cooper. We're going to have a reference to Cooper here in a minute, okay? I'm going to show you this reference to Cooper. American Pie reference here. Yeah. Okay. Peyton Manning. Oh, Peyton Manning. Oh my goodness. We had to have a Manning reference. And again, Broncos. Yeah. That's not too far removed from what the idea of the riding the Broncos down in Texas, and obviously the Denver Broncos. The Denver starting there, Colorado. The Colorado River is the thing that runs through the Grand Canyon. It's the thing that is dammed that creates Lake Mead. So, and it goes obviously the color red, Colorado, color red, the Red River, the River of Blood. Again, the Overlook Hotel. Well, you go around in circles here. We're back to The Shining with that. You know, I mean, Jessica Chastain. I don't. What the hell was she in? She was in something else that I watched. I'm trying to think. I can't remember anyway. I can't think of anything for her. That's it, I think. Oh, I think Tommy Hilfiger was in here as well. I remember. Was kind of interesting, wasn't it? Tommy Hilfiger. Kind of a. No, I don't know. Oh, Damar Hamlin. Yeah. Remember this character? Damar Hamlin? Buffalo Bills. Remember Damar Hamlin had the so he's got this birthday, and he had, oh, I don't know where I got his thing up here somewhere. But anyway, he had the heart attack, and they, during the game. Where is it? On the 2nd of January. Okay. Against the Bengals, against Cincinnati Bengals. Hamlin. And Hamlin has a connection. I can't remember whether it's. I think it's a Hamlin reference back to Pluto again and the discovery of plutonium. Maybe it's either Hamilton or Hamlin. I can't remember. Oh dear. The number 3. Will Sullivan pointed this out. Also, and then the dartboard also as well. The number 3 is important. I did a video and he pointed out you could put in my chart of rain, you could put the flux capacitor and it would run down to the number 3. And in the dartboard it also does that as well. If you run off the 9 and the 4 with the flux capacitor, the bottom of it's running down to the 3 again with the 9-4 and the flux capacitor reference. Oh jeez. Anyway, where am I even up to now? I think what we need to go back to. Oh, I just wanted to mention. Let's just mention Sarah Jessica Parker, because she's got the 25th of March, which, because of the leap year this year, this would normally be the 84th day of the year in a normal year. So she's sharing this connection, and so again, the connection here is back to Mars Attacks. She plays the connection with both Pierce Brosnan and with Marty. Just a mental connection there. Also with the dog and Snatch, and she kind of becomes the dog in like the diamond goes into the dog in Snatch. And then also she's married to Matthew Broderick, yeah, and obviously Ferris Bueller. That starts off that's a Chicago reference, as he's a kid in Chicago. And then we have the later connect. Well, I don't know if he did that before or after War Games, but obviously there's the War Games connection where he's talking to the Whopper that is shaped like a diesel train, the Whopper computer that's going to create World War III, and obviously the targets there are Vegas and Seattle. Crazy, isn't it? With War Games and the Whopper, the Burger King. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about it really, apart from, and also the name Jessica Parker and the connection to Back to the Future. Oh dear. Anyway, wanted to mention her. What else have I got left to mention here? We've almost exhausted everything. We've got to go back to this. So this actual song, we've got the connection to Che Guevara, yeah, and to the idea of revolution. And if we actually go to the music video, I'm not going to show you the music video, but in the music video, here's part of it. Here's the Mini Cooper, yeah, Sheldon Cooper. They've unshelled the Cooper here. They've taken off the doors and the windows and everything. The shell of Cooper here that's left. The shell of Cooper, Sheldon Cooper. And basically this whole music video is all about, the start of a war or war basically, and the horrors of war. And so this is pretty ominous to say the least. There's actually some interesting numbers we can pick out on the car as well. I'm not going to do it right now, but this connection with Sheldon Cooper, yeah, great. Is this stuff planned out, or is this just like, I don't know, And during this, she's spraying everybody down with water. Yeah, the water is gushing at this point. crazy. And there's another version of this video with a reference to Sweden, and obviously this, I think it's a Swedish flag, and they've got the same colours as the Ukrainian flag as well. But it starts off with that Sweden flag, and I'm thinking that there was maybe a, if we go to, oh, this was important stuff on that date. Again, that was the unification of, but let's go to deaths. Yeah, it was Saint Catherine of Sweden. I'm like, oh, that's interesting with that flag popping up. I'm pretty sure it's a Swedish flag. Anyway, Guy Ritchie does a, I think he directed another, what it feels like for a girl, another Madonna. See if we can get some.
You'd love to know what it's like, wouldn't you?
Come on.
What it feels like for a girl.
Oh yeah, let's see. Pussy. The reference to pussy, and then cat with the yellow and black. If it had been the blue, it would have been really interesting, but the cat reference there. But yeah, there's some stuff there's quite a lot of stuff with the idea of rebirth in here as well, which I'll have to just do a separate video on. But there's also another thing with Madonna, and what is that? It's a, I can't remember the guy's name that's in it. It's on the tip of my tongue. That's the Madonna halftime show. There's more in that Madonna. I need to redo that Madonna halftime show as well, because there's some stuff in there. I can't remember why I was looking at this. Maybe because Guy Ritchie had directed it, and so there's a lot of stuff in here. And there's also another thing that Guy Ritchie did, which was a short film for BMW that has Madonna in it. And gosh, what the hell's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. That's gonna bug me. I'll try and put it in the comments anyway. Whoever's in it with Madonna, he's the driver, English actor dude. God, what, I can't even think what he's been in actually. That's gonna bug me. But anyway, he basically delivers, takes her on a wild car ride, and she's kind of birthed back out onto the. It looks like she's almost dead at that point, but it's almost like a rebirth of the. She's being the complete biatch, and he kind of shakes her up. Let's put it that way. And so she's reborn onto the red carpet in a real mess. There's some interesting stuff in that video, and one thing that I just want to talk about is they use the song Blur Song 2, yeah? And it's woohoo. The lyrics are woohoo, yeah, woohoo. You know the song, woohoo. I feel like heavy metal, blah blah. When I feel heavy metal. Yeah, what is heavy metal? I want to go through this song real quick, and it's important, and the connection back with Madonna and the Who here at the start of it, and then I got my head checked with by a jumbo jet, yeah. What got hit by the jumbo jet, the Twin Towers, yeah. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. When I feel heavy metal, woohoo, yeah. On pins and needles. Well, we just had the needles thing, yeah. The pins and needles. But I just want to reference this heavy metal reference because it's a little ominous as well, because I want to go back to plutonium, and plutonium essentially is a heavy metal. In fact, you might have heard people going on about. I think plutonium reverts back to uranium at some point, maybe in the decay. Anyway, the decay of uranium leads back to lead, heavy metal. Yeah, back to lead. So again, with the PB, heavy metal, and also, yeah, where's PB? Here it is. Okay, so here's lead, 82, and again, plutonium, remember, is 94, the 49 again with plutonium, and obviously next to that with the 95, yeah, americium, which is, if you were to say it differently, americium, sort of, could kind of say it like that. So it's a bit ominous with these, the radioactive stuff, yeah. Radioactive. Oh dear, Imagine Dragons. Um, so, but I wanted to reference that because they use that song in that video. And I'm like, you know what? Obviously with the woohoo, and then the, I don't know, the connection back to heavy metal there is, it's very ominous. Anyway, um, I, to be quite honest, I think I've pretty much done everything now. Let's just go through some more of these deaths. Obviously, yeah, Elizabeth. Okay, we've already done that. This was the interesting about John Harrison, was the double death and rebirth thing there with the clockmaker, the guy that, oh, Jules Verne. Oh yeah, with the connection in Back to the Future, especially with the last Back to the Future, with the kind of that's surrounding the idea of the death of Madonna, number 3, the destruction of, not only the destruction of the DeLorean, but also the 131 train going over the cliff. It's just absolutely crazy. What else have we got in here for? I'm going too fast, I know it, but anybody else? Anybody? Come on. I feel like there might be another interesting one in here. I don't know if that's interesting to anybody. Oh, the guy that did Asterix. No, that's it. That's where we're leaving it. Dolores White, American composer. But anyway, I think that's where we're going to leave it. I'm trying to think if there's really anything else. I kind of talked about the Victory Avenue with the Mavericks here. If you look at some of Madonna's videos as well, it's kind of interesting. There's actually quite a few bits and bobs with the cowboy theme. And there's probably more links to like Dallas and the Cowboy type idea, I guess. I don't know. I did really think this was interesting where this avenue, obviously look at the 35 that it's running parallel with as well. I did kind of think that was interesting with the crossing Lamar there, for sure. I'm trying to think if there was anything else interesting other than JFK maybe dying there and maybe Madonna dying there. I don't know. Let's just whiz through. Let's just go over some of this stuff. Oh, I just want to mention this guy as well. With the 313, that number ties back into Ghost Town with Madonna. It also ties back into 331 coming up, Easter. This guy, Joe Round, to whatever the hell his name is, to do with Pixar, yeah, Pi, Pixar, Pix Pi Cross AR 118 is R18. So that's pretty interesting, and the connection with cars. So this guy that did all that stuff, this is really interesting because he died on August 16th as well, 2005, with the 25 reference. So that would be a very interesting connection there with back to Madonna as well, with cars connecting back as well, and all this stuff connecting together. Thought I'd mention. I don't know who I saw that. Somebody had that on one of their. I forget who it was now. Who I was watching. Was there something interesting? Oh yeah, with this guy, Clyde Tombaugh. How do you say that? Tomba. I don't know how you say that surname, but this is the guy that discovered Pluto. What is interesting is the January 17th. This is when Madonna announced her tour. Look where he dies, the cross. But that's kind of interesting as well. Oh, this is the name of April O'Neil. Obviously, that tie back to Mickey O'Neill now, and Mrs. O'Neill, who is Mary, and again this tie back with 629, which ties back to look who the spouses were as well, Vince Grant and Philip Stone. And this just ties all over the place. This does. So I honestly think we're done. You have to go watch the music video. That was Robbie G. Why do I keep saying G? Maybe it is. Maybe it's supposed to. I don't know. Robbie G. There's Mark Cuban. Oh look, he's a 731. Unbelievable. Same as Harrison Ford in it, and quite a few other people actually. Desperately seeking Susan. Was there anything I wanted to show you in here? The 104, the 14. Remember that? The clock tower. Again, and the 329. I mentioned that. Actually, was there any interesting names in here that show back up? I don't know. I don't want to spend too long on this. We're already, God knows how many hours this has taken so far. JFK, what on? Oh, it's Palm Sunday as well. Palm Sunday. Jesus rocks into town on the donkey, and everybody does the putting laying stuff in his path, the palm leaves and that. Okay, and is it the palm? Is it those palm leaves that they use for Ash when they burn them and use them for Ash Wednesday as well? I don't know. Okay, I'm not up on my on the stuff as well as I should be. Oh, lucky star as well. I wanted to just say the 9/9. Yeah, with September the 9th, and that is also pretty interesting with the 99th day of the year this year as well, with the 4/9 and the 4/8 connection there. So I probably could spend an awful lot of time, I don't know, talking through some of this stuff. We went through with the secret garden that I'll remember, and also I'll remember if you look at the symbolism here. This is 3 towers, yeah, with the aisle, and then remembering, yeah, to remember. Obviously, is to go back to the beginning, yeah, because you're recalling what it was like at the beginning. Obviously, remember. The member is the phallic symbol and to reattach that and to remember. Goodness me. The Queen Vic and here's Guy Ritchie. He is a 10th of September. Again. So this guy was the 10th, and then when he married Madonna, he became 9/11. Okay. And that was the. I can't think if there's anything else. Here's Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Was there something interesting with? Oh yeah, the release date of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels was 2/8/2. Yeah, remember 282 days remaining in the year this year, and Vinnie Jones, obviously being Chris, and he's like one of the main characters that flips into the next episode. Yeah, obviously Jason being the main one, but Vinny's the kind of he's used twice there, and obviously we can remember the and obviously and they have they have a soap reference as well in Lockstock, the same as we have a soap reference in Fight Club. Anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked. We've done plutonium. And again, plutonium begins its life in Chicago, I believe. It's look in the Wikipedia. I'm going to leave it there. That's the end of this one. Are we going to see a Madonna death ritual that will tie in with all of that? I mean, that ties to so many things. It's just absolutely crazy. But obviously there are other numbers that tie back to that now, like 494847. Pretty much all the fours, all the dates coming up in April will tie to that, to the same decode. But man, yeah, I don't know. I want to show you something. Maybe I'll make this the start of the thing. Guy Ritchie's Snatch. Donna. I don't know what to call this video, to be quite honest. But yeah, let me show you this because I had it in here. I don't have a title on it yet, but maybe I'll just put it on. Save. Okay. See this? Here's the Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Here's the Snatch. That's it. End of video. Alright. Thanks for watching. Bye.